Attention bowlers, we are going to get started from Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. My name is Steve Kelly, and I will be your host and guide during this Class A North semifinal playoff match between today's challengers, Ryan Southall versus Jon Winchell. Good as always to have you along with us. Originally live streamed on Friday, May 31st at 6:30 p.m. and available anytime after the conclusion of this match. And we're going to get started right away with Ryan Southall leading off. If you're new to the ACST or Candlepin bowling in general, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you and hope you enjoy this match as well as Candlepin bowling as a whole. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Your continued viewership is greatly appreciated. As always, that's Ryan Southall starting out with a 9 drop with the 4 pin. The only four pin left on the deck and the only pin left on the deck. Let's see Ryan Southall shoot for a spare. And that's Ryan Southall starting out hot with a spare. In this first of 5, 10 after 1, plus a ball for Mr. Southall. For those interested, I'd like to highlight 2 things. First, this broadcast will be available with subtitles and live captioning. If not immediately, then shortly after the broadcast is concluded, or possibly while I am captioning itself. Or speaking, you get it. I will also be providing audible descriptions of the play-by-play action as well as scoring to the best of my ability. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. That's a second spare by Ryan Southall. What was that, Phil? With a 7 fill. At Exeter Lanes, we are all paper and pencil, so occasionally I may need to just pause for some verification here, but otherwise that's a 7 fill for Southall. So he is at 34 after 2 with 2 7 fills after 2 marks. Shooting at the 2, the 4, and the 7 pins. And doesn't get the 3, doesn't get the 3-peat. He's shooting for a 10 box now. It's Ryan Southall in the red on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. He'll take a 10 box, checking 10. That puts him at 44 after 3 for Ryan Southall. As always, and just as a reminder, the scoreboard is always unofficial on the stream. That's Ryan Southall washing out the left side. Shallow washout, I might add. Southall following up. Punching out the right side. 1, 2, 5, and 10 on the deck. 1, 2, 5, and 10. For a 10 box, Southall will take 2 more, leaving an 8. Leaving 2 on the deck for an 8 box. That should put him at 52 after 4 for Mr. Ryan Southall. Ryan Southall with a season record of 138 and 114. He has a home record of 74 and 52, 1.42 kill-death ratio for Ryan Southall. He has an away record of 64 and 62. Southall trying to cut it for a spare. Pin comes back to take out the 6, but leaves the 7. It's Ryan Southall for a 10 box on the 7 pin at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Southall for the 10. He'll check 10. So at the half, Southall should have a 62 half. And again, being a house that is paper and pencil, we might need to occasionally verify a few things here and there, so bear with us on that. But at the moment, from my count, Ryan Southall should have a 62 half. In the ACST playoffs, it is all about the final scratch total. Games do not matter. It is all about the final scratch total. And we're going to be saying hello to Jon Winchell for the first time tonight at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Jon Winchell. Did a lot of research on Jon Winchell, and my goodness, do I have a lot of notes on him. He has a record in the regular season of 173 and 79 after 18 great matches played in the A class. That's Jon Winchell with a spread eagle, the traditional academic spread eagle. And he's shooting for the spare. He takes out 2 from the spread eagle, just injuring the eagle just a little bit more. Longtime viewers of the show will maybe be sick of my eagle jokes, injured eagle jokes, and PETA jokes, but that will be a 9 box for Jon Winchell to start out the first of 5 here in this playoff match at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Class A playoff night here at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. When we have a free moment, I'll show you the playoff picture when we have some time here. In the meantime, though, that is Jon Winchell down there. And he drops 9, leaving only the 6. Jon Winchell will take a spare. Should be 19 plus a ball after 2 for Mr. Jon Winchell. Let's take a look at the playoff picture real quick so you can see this is the semifinal match. We have Jon Winchell versus Ryan Southall. The winner will go on to face Joey Lister. Southall on the spare fill. He drops 9, he drops 10. Strike on spare for Jon Winchell. Ryan Southall remarks, as soon as it left his hand, he knew it was going to go. That should be 39 plus a ball, plus 2 balls for the strike fill for Jon Winchell after 3. Exciting playoff A-class bowling, folks. Class A, folks. Class A. Jon Winchell filling a strike. Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Exeter Lanes. Jon Winchell for the double. He drops 9 on the 6. Take a good close look at that 6. 6 pin. Single pin spare shouldn't be much of a problem for Jon Winchell. His home lanes are here at Exeter on the seacoast in New Hampshire. Jon Winchell missing that single pin spare, unfortunately. So he will retain a 9 fill on that strike. That will put him at 48 after 3. Mr. Jonathan Winchell. The Heartbreak Kid, as he was coined on Candlepin Skins, that's a 9 box for Winchell. That will put him at 57 after 4. Jon Winchell coined as, again, the Heartbreak Kid in Candlepin Skins. Some of his advice that I've heard and I've taken to heart myself are, quote-unquote, don't change anything, as he said. Jon Winchell on the head pin, arms out. Arms out, bro, didn't do it. He drops 8, leaving the 8 and the 10 pins on the deck. Jon Winchell versus the 8 and the 10 at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. He fires. He misses to the left. Jon Winchell frustrated with that one. Jon Winchell with a season average in the regular season of 119.4. His home average here at Exeter is 117.9. That's -3 off of his away average, which is normally 120.9. That will be an 8 box for Jon. That looks like it should be 65 after 5 versus Ryan Southall 62 after 2. Ryan Southall currently has the edge by 3 here in this first of 5 series, but it's still early, so don't worry too much about the leads at the moment, and it's still pretty close. Competitive matches here in the ACST. Anyways, we'll say hello to Ryan Southall once again here at the approaches of Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. I'm Steve Kelly back here. That's Ryan Southall down there in the maroon shirt. Ryan Southall, part of the Riverwalk Friday Night Pro League team. He drops 6. 1, 3, 6, 7 for Ryan Southall. I almost said Jon Southall for a moment. Ryan Southall versus the 1, 3, 6, 7. He's off to the right, hits the 3-6 pocket, not the 1-3 pocket, left with the 1 and the 10. That's Ryan Southall shooting for an 8, 9, or 10 box. He'll connect with the head pin a little bit too full. He'll take a 9 box. Mr. Ryan Southall, 71 after 6 is where we stand. And again, just as a reminder, just because I am extra paranoid tonight, the scoring is paper and pencil at Exeter Lane, so all scores you see on the stream are unofficial unless we miraculously stay in sync the entire night. And you never know what's going to happen. That's Ryan Southall with a left side half Worcester and then a right side lemon drop. That's an absolutely ugly opportunity for Ryan Southall for a 10 box. 1, 5, 3, 4, 7, 9, 10, and that's going to be a 6 box for Southall. Tough out, remarks the audience. 77 after 7, Ryan Southall. Appreciate you watching wherever you are. either in person or remote. Either way, it's great bowling to watch regardless. That's a 7 drop for Southall. 1, 8, 10 with the 10-pin wiggling, as we can see here. I'm going to make a slight adjustment on the pin cam while the plane is flying here. Southall missing the spare opportunity. 1, 8, 10 again. For the 10 box, he'll take a 9. Southall with the 9 box. That's 86 after 8. 2 to go. Ryan Southall. Season average during the regular season at the ACST 112.6. Home average of 110.6. Southall on lane 2. He drops 6, drops 7. Late falling pins 3, 7, 10. That's what Ryan Southall is shooting at. Jon Winchell getting a pizza from the Shooter's Pub at Exeter Lanes. That smells dang good. Ryan Southall versus the 3, 7, 10. Ball comes around. He misses the 3 as somehow comes back to take the 7. Shooting for an 8, 9, or 10 box now, Mr. Ryan Southall. And Southall for the 10, and he'll take 8. Ryan Southall with a 94 and 8. Looks like late reset there. Ryan Southall's home average again is 110.6. That's -4 from his away average of 114.6. And his high single is 161. He bowled that against Mike McIntosh in round 7 with a high series of 624. He bowled that against John Lescarbo in round 14. Southall fires, headpin shot. Breaks it up a lot better than the last box. 3, 9, 10 is what he's shooting at right now. And we'll see how Mr. Ryan Southall can spare this up. It'll be a pretty shot if it goes. He'll take the 3 full, and it will sail between the 9 and the 10, believe it or not. That is a tough shot, as the audience remarks. Southall for 9 and 10. He's got to pick a stick on lane 2 at Exeter Lanes, and he picks no sticks. He'll take an 8 box. That's going to put him at 102, I believe. We will verify the scores, but if I've been keeping up with everything correctly, it looks like a 92 for Ryan Southall. I'll verify in a second. That is confirmed, a 102 for Ryan Southall. Just yelling over to JJ Tarigny, who is keeping the score on paper. So me and JJ are doing a 2-way validation tonight for scores, and that's Jon Winchell. He's on a 65 half. No fill, no mark on the 5th. He drops 5. 4 horsemen left side plus the 10. 1, 2, 4, 7, 10 is what Jon Winchell is shooting at. On lane 2 at Exeter Lanes, Exeter Bowling Lanes and the Shooter's Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire on the seacoast of New Hampshire, not too far from UNH. On exit 9 on 101, you take exit 1 for Lakeside Lanes, exit 7 for UNH, and exit 9 for Exeter Lanes and the Shooter's Pub. So that's Jon Winchell shooting for a 10 box on the 1-7-10, the high-low jack on lane 2. He takes out 66% of the high-low jack for a 9 box. That puts him at 74 after 6 by my count. Verify with JJ in a moment. JJ has a mouthful of pizza right now. I'll check back in with JJ for a little bit. Be sure to like and subscribe for more status on JJ Tarigny eating a pizza. Jon Winchell on lane 2 at Exeter Lanes. He fires right to center on the 1-3 pocket. He's left with the left side hay bale. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Jon Winchell spare leave, no wood to help him. Jon Winchell, the Heartbreak Kid. New nickname we're trying to get started. Thank Jordan Britton for that one. He's on the pocket, but he leaves the 5 and the 8. Rough time for Jon Winchell. Let's see what Jon Winchell can shoot at here. On lane 2 for a 10 box. There's a difficult piece of wood in front of the 5 and the 8. He fires, tries to hit it lightly. Wood deflects the ball. He'll take an 8 box. That will put him at 82 after 7 by the looks of it. For Mr. Jon Winchell, up against Ryan Southall's 87 at the same point in the match. Appreciate you having you along. I'm Steve Kelly, and for Jon Winchell and Ryan Southall here, we're just getting near the end of the first game here. That's our right side half Worcester in the 7 pin for Jon Winchell this time. And a friend behind it, the 9 pin's hanging out too. So he has to hit the 1-3 pocket to really make anything out of this, get any lemons out of this lemonade, or lemonade out of the lemons. Jon Winchell misses the 1-3 pocket, connects with the 3-6 pocket. It's the high-low jack plus the 9, 1-7, 9-10 for Mr. Jon Winchell. This is the semifinal match. The winner goes on to the final match against Joey Lister in the A North. Joey Lister, who beat Nate Lees. Jon Winchell will punch full. He'll take a 7-box. That should put Winchell at, if I can enter the score correctly, 89 after 8. Compare that to Ryan Southall's 86 after 8. So the match is actually surprisingly close, remarkably. Jon Winchell down on the lanes. Jon Winchell with an away average of 120.9. That's 3 higher than his home average. Jon Winchell with another 5-drop, another right side 4 horseman in the 7. Jon Winchell bowled his high single this season in the ACST 156 versus Cody 50 in round 4, and his high series of 640 was bowled against Chris Winiers in round 5. Jon Winchell on the 1-3 pocket of the right side 4 horsemen, but no dice. The 7 and the 10 pins are the only ones left on the deck for Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell, he needs to pick a stick, and logically anyone would say aim at the 7 pin. He aims at the 7, he'll take a stick, he'll take one of the 2 sticks, he'll take a 9-box. 1 to go, 98 after 9, up by 4 at this point in the match against Ryan Southall's 94 after 9. Jon Winchell, the Heartbreak Kid. He's been a frequent flyer on the rebooted Candlepin Skin show, but of course he has a miles-long list of accolades and achievements. He's been, quote-unquote, a model of consistency in Candlepin Skin Season 1, Episode 3. Check that out on Candlepin Corner. Jon Winchell drops 6, 1, 3, 4, 7 on lane 2. Jon Winchell with multiple New Hampshire state titles, TV appearances, WNDS, Comcast, AT&T, you name it, he's probably been on it. And Jon Winchell, no spare, 1, 4, 7. Just chopping wood here at Exeter Lanes. Ryan Southall may have a slight edge here in the first game, but again, we're not playing for points tonight. We're playing for the final total, so anything can happen. He'll take a 9. I almost said 10-box, but it's going to be a 9 after the dust settles. 107 for Jon Winchell, so I stand corrected. 107 to 102, I believe.
Is that a 107? 107 to 102. Alrighty. Game 2 is terrible.
107 to 102 is confirmed. Hooray. For the moment, I have stayed caught up with the paper scoring, so congratulations to everyone involved in that collaborative effort. We're going to move on to the second game now. Ryan Southall once again in the maroon shirt in the right lane on lane 3 in this pair of lanes 2 and 3 at Exeter Lanes Shooters Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. One of the northernmost houses in the ACST, if not the northernmost. He drops 5, Mr. Southall does. 4 horsemen right side in the 8 pin. We've seen a lot of this shot tonight, it seems. Ryan Southall for the spare on the 1-3 pocket. Pin still falling, and will the 10 go? The 10 goes late. He'll take a spare. Ryan Southall with a spare for 10 after 1. Plus a ball. So Ryan Southall starting out filling a spare now. Southall fires slightly off the right of the head pin. That fill is 4. Right side half Worcester minus the 7 pin. And an additional front, the 5 pin is down as well. Southall on the head pin a little bit too light, a little bit too nice to it, as Dominic Palladino was telling me last night as I threw similar shots. He's left with the 4, the 8, and the 10 to shoot at. Ryan Southall. Ryan Southall, home house, Riverwalk Lanes, Amesbury, Massachusetts. Southall, son of Jeanette Southall, nephew of Sherelle Newland. And Ryan Southall will check 9 for 23 after 2 with a 14 box at the start. This is the beginning of the second game. So if you're just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. This is going to be an exciting Class A playoff match tonight. Ryan Southall on lane 3. He fires off to the left, bit of a wild pitch. He'll shallowly wash out the left side of lane 3. 1, 5, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10. make a song out of that. Ryan Southall, again, off to the left. He'll take a few more with a decent mix. He's left with the 1 and the 3 pins on the deck for an 8, 9, or 10 box for Ryan Southall. And Ryan Southall will check 10. An excellent pinning exercise for Ryan Southall. That'll put him at 33 after 3 here at Exeter Lanes. Ryan Southall is from Rowley, Massachusetts. His normal average is 115. His all-time high 1 is 178. His all-time high 3 is 445. His all-time high 5 is 662. He beat Timmy Douglas by 2 pins in Skins Season 1, Episode 4. He moved on to a second appearance in the next episode, and then he had to come from behind victory in that episode after he quote-unquote made a slight adjustment. That's an 8 drop for Ryan Southall, leaving the 1 and the 3 this time for a spare leave. Should be a layup, and it is a layup. Just like the Celtics, he'll take a spare, his second spare of the game. 43 plus a ball after 4 for Ryan Southall. Again, if you see any indicators about points, we're not talking about points tonight. We're talking about the final scratch total, because that is the way the ACST playoffs work. Ryan Southall in the maroon-red shirt on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes. Historic Exeter Lanes since 1946. He'll punch out with another 4-pin, another 4-fill, his second 4-fill of the game. That is a traditional academic spread eagle. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 for Ryan Southall. Trying to take the spread eagle for a spare. He'll just injure the eagle for more in a shameless act of animal cruelty. Southall versus the remains of the eagle. He'll take an 8 box. He'll finish his half with 55. He remarks, quote unquote, "That's gross." And I wouldn't say it wasn't for lack of effort. Plenty of marks, but unfortunately those fills just kind of killed him a little bit. We'll see what Jon Winchell can do. Jon Winchell is good at seeing opportunity and seizing on it. Jon Winchell in the regular season had 73 strikes, 248 spares, and 251 tens. He has a perfect box percentage of 64%. With 10,748 seasonal total pins, that can be a slow-moving strike. Yes, it is. Jon Winchell with a strike that was so polite to let me finish talking before the final pin fell. That's 10 after 1 with a fill for Jon Winchell. Strike after 1. Jon Winchell starting out hot. Hey, it could be a perfect game. No one has ever bowled a perfect game in Candlepin bowling, don't you know? 10-pin bowling is a solved problem. Candlepin bowling is not. Jon Winchell off to the left. 10. The dream of bowling the perfect game is dead. He drops 6 so far. And that's a 1, 6, 8, 10 with some wood spliced around for Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell for the spare opportunity. I heard an O after he released. He knew what he did. He released a little bit too late or held onto the ball too long or something, but he's left with the 1, the 8, and the 10 pins now for a 10-box opportunity. Jon Winchell, that's a 7 fill on the strike. 17 after 1. Jon Winchell for the 10 box, and he'll check 8 for 25 after 2. Jon Winchell. Appreciate you watching this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour semifinal Class A. Basically the pro tier playoff matches. We're nearing the end of the season, truly, even in the playoffs. 1 round to go. The winner of tonight's match goes on to the finals in A-Class. Jon Winchell with a very smooth ball in the pocket, dropping 9, leaving only the 7 pin on the deck. Piece of wood deciding where it wants to stay. I bet Jon really wants it just out of the way so he can have a clean shot, a single pin spare, but now this is going to be interesting. Jon Winchell versus the 7 for a spare leave. I'm already getting ready to just pen it in, but let's see. Write it in pen. That's a spare for Jon Winchell. Off the wall, plays the wood. Always a risky shot because often you aren't always sure what is going to happen with such a shot like that. But Jon Winchell makes it happen. The Heartbreak Kid with 35 after 3 versus Ryan Southall's complete 55 after 5. Jon Winchell, he leads Class A Division 1 in the regular season. He was ahead of Nate Lees, Logan Gingras, and Rich Gingras. And my goodness, he drops 4 for a 4 fill after all said and done. 1, 3, 6, 9, 4, 7 for Jon Winchell. He is first in ACST A-Class overall. So you're watching the King Bowl, and he bids for a spare, and he misses the 4 and the 7. It was the best kind of ball he could have possibly thrown, but that's Candlepin for you. Sometimes that just happens. Again, 10-pin is a solved problem. Candlepin is not. Winchell for the 10 box, and he'll take a 10 box. His first 10 box of this game, believe it or not. 49 after 4 with 1 to go, as JJ Tariglia reminds Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell on fire tonight so far. The first game, he was ahead of Ryan Southall by 5, 107 to 102, giving him a 5-pin edge, but anything can still happen. That doesn't really guarantee anything. Jon Winchell on the head pin, a little bit too full on the head pin, dropping 7. 246 is what he's shooting at. 246 for Jon Winchell. Spare leave. 2-4 pocket is what I would shoot at. There's a piece of wood in between the 2 and 4, and that will make it interesting, and that was precisely why I thought it would be interesting. The 6-pin remains because that piece of wood between the 2 and the 4 caused things to just butt heads and fly back. Jon Winchell is now shooting for a 10 box for a potential 59 half. And he will smoothly take it out. 10 box, 59 after 5, just as predicted for Jon Winchell. 59 to 55 at the half. To size things up, Jon Winchell is up in the total by 9 at this point. In this 5-game series, scratch total wins. 2 enter, 1 leaves. Figuratively, that is. We're going to say hello to Ryan Southall on lane 2 at Exeter Lanes now. Ryan Southall with 42 strikes, 212 spares, and 179 tens in the regular season. Ryan Southall drops the ball and half Worcester's the left side plus a friend. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 is what he's shooting at. 1-3 pocket will be for a spare leave, and he sails through the hole and takes a few more pins out in the back. And he's shooting at 5 to 10, no spare for Ryan Southall. And he'll take a pretty 10, though. It's an excellent out. He remarks he wishes that was the second ball, but hey, sometimes that happens. It's not necessarily a miss the second, get the third situation because he took some pins out in the second, but regardless, he's at 65 after 6. Ryan Southall, no mark in the 6th. Southall fires on the head pin on the 1-3 pocket. And he's dropping 6. It's a rough leave, 7, 8, 10, 6. That's what he's looking at. Probably something to do with the 6 is how you spare this, and he'll hit a little too full on the 6-10. He's left with the 7-8. Mr. Southall. Southall fires, and he'll take a 9. That's going to put him at 74 after 7 now. With 3 to go in this 5-game series. Once again, if you're just tuning in, thanks a lot for watching this Class A playoff action of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. I'm Steve Kelly calling. That's Ryan Southall bowling. He drops 5, and he's getting a little frustrated with this. 1, 3, 8, 6, 10 is what he's shooting at. 1-3 pocket is the operative pocket here that Ryan Southall will be shooting at. And he misses the pocket. Pin spinning. He's left with the 1, 8, 10, 6. 10 box shot for Southall. What will it be for Southall? He fires, and fortunately, he's going to be left with an 8 box. Southall cooling off a little bit here. He's at 82 after 8, while Winchell is at 59 after 5, compared to Southall's 55 after 5, up 4. And he was up 5 in the first game. Southall, lane 2, trying again. On the pocket, better leave, better shot. 6, 9, 10 is what he's shooting at for Southall. On lane 2, he fires, and he says no. Fortunately, Ryan Southall rushing that ball a little bit. He takes out the 10 and the 10 only. 6, 9 is what he's shooting at now for a 10 box. Southall releases. He takes that 10, pins it out 92 after 9. Southall visibly frustrated with that one. 92 after 9. 1 to go. He's going to need something big in order to protect against the oncoming storm that is Jon Winchell. Ryan Southall on the defense. The 1-2 pocket. Awkward leave. It looks like the 5, 6, 3, 7. Pins wiggling. Some wood to help him on the 3 and the 5 for Jon Winchell. See what he can do with this one. He hits that piece of wood, and hopefully the piece of wood will come over and take the 7, and that was the much-needed spare for Southall in the 10th. That piece of wood coming to save him, 102. Plus a ball, plus a fill for Mr. Ryan Southall. And now he just needs to pile on pins at this point. This is the fill ball, the final ball of the second game for Ryan Southall, off to the left of the head pin, but still a generous mix. 138, that's a 7 fill for Southall. 109 is what he finishes. He finishes with the same game that Jon Winchell finished in the first. 109 after 10 for Ryan Southall in the second. That puts him at a 2-game total of 211. Jon Winchell with a 1.5 game total of 166. The benchmark is now set for Jon Winchell. And if I know Jon Winchell, he's hungry. Speaking of hungry, there's tons of great smelling pizza here at Exeter Lanes and the Shooters Pub. You should check it out if you're in the Seacoast. If you're a UNH student, you have no excuse not to check this place out. This place is historic, open since 1946, Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. That's Jon Winchell with a 7 drop, awkward 7 drop. That he calls that a sweet one. The 4, the 5, and the 10 pins are on the deck for Jon Winchell. Shooting at the 4, 5, and 10. Winchell fires on the 4, on the 5, on the 4, on the 10. Somehow leaves the 5. Incredible. He hit it right, and that's one of those shots where I don't have any advice on how to hit it any differently. Mark Ritchie, if you feel any different, please let me know in the comments. Winchell will fire for the 10 box. He'll take that 10, that perfect box percentage shining through for Winchell. His third 10 in a row. 69 in 6 for Jon Winchell with 4 to go. Jon Winchell, what more can I tell you about Jon Winchell? He has the number 9th most spares in all of the ACST at 248. He is number 1 in 10 boxes in all of the ACST at 251. And Jon Winchell off to the left of the head pin, dropping 5, dropping 6. 1-3-7-8 is what he's shooting at. 1-3 pocket is the operative pocket. Jon Winchell has the number 10th most strikes in all of the ACST at 73. He's 5th in perfect box percentage in all of the ACST at 64%. He misses the pocket, takes out the 3, takes out the 8, leaving the 1, leaving the 7 for a 10 box possibility. Will he get his 4th 10 box? Stay tuned and find out. Jon Winchell, he's doing work down on lane 2 at Exeter Lanes. Winchell fires on the 1. He'll take the 1 and the 1 only for a 9 box. That's 78 after 7 for Jon Winchell. 78 after 7, up 4 against Ryan Southall at the same equivalent point in the game. In the match, things are a little bit different. He was +5 from the first game, but we'll size everything back up in 3 boxes here. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and check out Jon Winchell potentially throw a hammer here. Will he? I don't know. Let's find out. Jon Winchell on the pocket. A little bit full, but 9 drop. Generous 9 drop with a 7 pin remaining. Jon Winchell. My apologies if the zoom cam is bobbing. It's actually somewhere close to where I'm sitting, and when I physically move, I bump the camera a little bit. Jon Winchell, I don't know if that'll be a foul. He calls an audible. I believe that's going to be a 9 box. 87 and 8 for Jon Winchell. Always admire the sportsmanship for Jon Winchell, or any bowler that, goes out of their way to call a foul, especially if it's like a 50-50 shot. It's always bowler's call, but you like to see sportsmanship in any game, any match, any sport. Jon Winchell being a gentleman calling that foul. 87 after 8 for Jon Winchell against Ryan Southall's 82 after 8 at this point in the match. Winchell fires, 7 drop. 6 pin falls late. 8 drop now. 7-10 with some wood. I don't know how this is going to end up, but stay tuned and find out here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Jon Winchell on the 7-10. There's wood on closer to the 10 pin than the 7 pin. Winchell fires, and he'll take it. Taking a nice spare on the 7-10. Right when he needs it most. He's at 97 plus a ball and 9. Show you the scores here real quick while you have his chance, while the pin setter reconfigures itself. 97 plus a ball for Jon Winchell. Compare that to 92 and 9 for Ryan Southall. Jon Winchell very narrowly ahead of Ryan Southall, but he's getting these marks right when he needs them. He did this in the first game too. Winchell filling a spare now on ending the 9th box. A little bit full, but drops 6. That is the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 10. That's a 6 fill for Winchell. 103 and 9. Shooting for a spare now, Jon Winchell. Let's see how he can spin it. That's what he's going to have to do. He's a little bit way too full. A little bit way too full on the 2-pin. It's going to be a 7, 8, 9, or 10 for a potential 113 game for Jon Winchell. Winchell, final box of the second game. He fires, just trying to pin it out. He'll take an 8 box. He'll finish over Southall 111 to 109, maintaining his overall match lead at this point by 7 now. He was up by 5 in the first game and up by 7 now, and I'll verify the scores in a moment. And the scores are correct. Hey, I'm 2 for 2 so far, and keeping in sync with the paper copy of the scores. But we're going to move on to the third game now. Welcome to the third game. I'm Steve Kelly. That's Ryan Southall in the maroon on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. He fires. Big explosion of pins. Will the 9-pin go? It's a late falling strike for Ryan Southall in the beginning here. Striking the first Ryan Southall. Now Ryan Southall has the opportunity to bowl a perfect game. 10 after 1 for Southall. He was down by 7 after the first 2 games. Again, it's all about the final scratch total. Points do not matter in this match. Winner goes to the finals. Southall for the double. He misses off to the left of the head pin. Rushed that ball a little bit. Drops 6. We won't count the fill into the next ball, though. He's shooting at the 1, the 3, the 6, and the 9 pins. And Southall fires, and a little bit awkward pin spread. It's going to be an 8 fill. Left with the 6 and the 9. 6-9. Southall versus the 6-9. Nice. He'll take a 10 box. 28 after 2 for Ryan Southall. Appreciate you watching from Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Open since 1946. Cash only. ATM on premises. With paper scoring, we're old school here. Seacoast, New Hampshire adjacent at Exeter Lanes. Southall firing to the right of the head pin. Washing out the right side. 1, 2, 5, 3, 7, 8. Exeter Lanes offers a variety of entertainment options for the whole family, such as 12 lanes of Candlepin bowling, including glow bowling. There's also local entertainment, pool tables, 13 TVs in the building. Glow-in-the-dark bowling fun, of course, as I mentioned. Pizza and pub food. The pizza smells great here, by the way. Full bar, beer garden. There's leagues here if you want to bowl leagues. We have the New Hampshire State Tournament here, and that's Ryan Southall with a 9 box. 37 after 3 for Ryan Southall. Exeter Lanes offers events and parties. Fantastic reviews of Exeter Lanes, especially recently winning WMUR's Best of New Hampshire for Best Bowling Alley this year. Ryan Southall with a left side washout. Again, with the washouts. Suddenly saying washouts a whole lot often. I don't know if I like that. Southall versus the 1, 5, 3, 6, 9, 10. On a little bit too full on the operative pocket. Left with the 6 and the 10 for a 10 box for Ryan Southall. Starting out hot, cooling off a little bit here. I think he just needs to slow down his ball a little bit, to be honest. His aim is a little bit off. That's a 9 box, leaving the 6 pin, 46 after 4 for Ryan Southall. With 1 box to go before we sit. Mr. Ryan Southall. Lane 3, maroon shirt from the Riverwalk Lanes Friday Night Pro League team. Ryan Southall on the head pin, drops 6, drops 7. Pin still falling, drops 8, drops 9. Everything but the 7 pin now. Decides to get out. Wiggling 7 pin for Ryan Southall for a spare shot. Should be a layup. Wood all around the 7 pin. He says, oh no. Oh no. My goodness. He hit the wrong wood. 7 pin stays. I never said which wood would take it. And I believe that will be a 10 box for Southall. 56 after 5 is where he will finish that half. 2.5 game total of 267. Oops. I said 2.5 game total of 267 for Ryan Southall. Sorry, pressed the wrong button there. And let's say hello to Jon Winchell on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Good as always to have you along. I'm Steve Kelly back here. That's Jon Winchell in the black shirt down there on lane 3 on the right lane of our 2-lane pair. Lanes 2 and 3 at Exeter Lanes. This is lane 3. He's on the pocket, a little bit full. Spread eagle minus the 10. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 is what Jon Winchell is shooting at. There's some wood between the 2 and the 3. May or may not help him. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to do, but Jon Winchell versus the Broken Eagle. Winchell fires right down the center. He CALLATTs it. Already got those, Jon Winchell. I can't give you the same pins twice. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 is what he's shooting at for a 10 box. Jon Winchell off to a rough start here in the third game of this ACST semifinal playoff match. Winner goes to the finals to face Joey Lister. Jon Winchell will take a few more for the road. He'll take 8 for 8 after 1 for Mr. Winchell. Jon Winchell with the number 9 most spares in the A class at 248. Again, he's the king of the 10 boxes in A class as well at 251. 9th place in strikes in the A class at 73. He has the 5th best perfect box percentage in the A class at 64 at the end of the regular season. Winchell dropping 6, left side diamond. That is the 2, 4, 5, 8 that he's shooting at. Jon Winchell has 18 out of 18 matches with a total over 550. He has 9 out of 18 matches over 600. Winchell versus the diamond, and he breaks the diamond. The diamond loses. You don't get to say that too often, but I just did. That's 18 after 2 for Jon Winchell, plus a ball. Winchell finished the first 2 games at +7 against Ryan Southall. +5 in the first, +7 in the second, cumulatively. Winchell filling a spare. Again, that pizza smell here at Exeter is intoxicating, by the way. Winchell on the 1-2 pocket, drops 6. An awkward 6, to say the least. 7-10, 6-3. That's what it looks like down there. Winchell will be shooting for a spare. 7-10, 6-3. Or 3-6, 7-10 if you like to sort lowest to highest, I suppose. Winchell hits the 3-6-10, leaves the 7. No spare for Winchell. 8, 9, or 10 box to conclude the third here for Jon Winchell. He's at 24 so far. He'll be 33 or 34, depending on what this final ball is here in the third. Be 34 with that 10. 34 after 3 for Jon Winchell versus Ryan Southall's 37 after 3. Oops. I gotta stop hitting that button. Jon Winchell winding up, thinking about it. We don't have a pitch clock in bowling. Thank goodness. Winchell on lane 3 in the black shirt to the right, on the right half of the screen. He drops, pin still falling, drops 6. Looks like the right side accordion, 5, 6, 9, 10. With some wood slightly in front of and diagonal to the 5 pin. Got to play the wood in some way to take this out. You could try the 6-10 pocket if you're crazy, but Winchell will try the sensible route, and he'll get a spare. Winchell just chopping away with the spares. 44 plus a ball after 4 is where we're at. Winchell has 1 to go. 44 plus a ball after 4. This ACST A-Class playoff match in the semifinals. Jon Winchell has 41 out of 90 games over 120 in the regular season of the ACST. That's 45% of his games over 120. He has 2 matches in the regular season with 14-0 point shutouts. And that's Jon Winchell with a spare fill is awkward. Pin's still falling. Pins may still be falling. It's going to be a 7 fill after all said and done. 51 after 4 for Jon Winchell. And this is effectively an impossible spare leave, but never say never. 7, 8, 10 is what Jon Winchell is shooting at. No wood to help him. Winchell releases, play action, 10 pin down, 7, 8 up. 8 box potential, not, excuse me, got 1 ball ahead. Winchell for the 10 box. He's going to pick a stick, 7 or 8. He picks neither of them. 8 box confirmed, 59 after 5 to Ryan Southall's 58. Excuse me, Ryan Southall is 56 after 5. Jon Winchell is 59 after 5. I just can't read. And it's correct. I'm still batting 1,000 on the scores, so thank you for bearing with me while I just yell over to JJ to verify the scores, and we're still doing good. Or doing well, that is. Ryan Southall in the maroon on lane 2 at Exeter Lanes. He washes out the left side. That's 1, 5, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10. It's your winning lottery numbers for tonight. Southall off to the right of the head pin again. 1, 7, 9, 10 is what he's shooting at now. Ryan Southall shooting for a 10 box. And he's going to take a 6 for 62 after 6. That's going to be rough. Ryan Southall. What can I tell you more about Ryan Southall? I know me and Ryan Southall have been talking all season. He's wanted me to cover several of his matches, but unfortunately just scheduling has just been all over the place in terms of my availability and his availability, but finally we got one in right here at the end. So thanks for bearing with me, Ryan, and hopefully next season I'll be able to get more matches in to call for you. Ryan Southall, a 9 drop going for the spare. That's a spare for Southall. That's 72 plus a ball after 7 for Southall. Southall's second mark of the game, strike in the first, spare in the 7th. 72 plus a ball for Southall versus Jon Winchell's 59 after 5. This is Ryan Southall on lane 2, filling a spare now. On the pocket, good fill. 8 drop, though. Rough leave. 7-10. 10 has wood to join it. 2 pieces of wood. When you have double buffered wood, sometimes you can get more pinball action, so playing the 10 pin is imperative here for Ryan Southall. Lane 2 at Exeter Lanes, Shooter's Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. And Southall tries to play it. He pinballs the 10, almost comes over the 7, but the piece of wood doesn't cooperate. He's left with the 7 pin, only on lane 2. Southall fires and he misses. That's a 8 fill and a 9 box for Southall. 89 after 8 is where we should stand. 2 boxes to go for Southall. Whereas Jon Winchell is waiting on a 59 half at the moment. We'll assess the totals at the end of this game to be totally fair. Southall on the head pin, a little bit too full, dropping 6, possibly 7. Pin still falling. 6, 7, 10 is what Ryan Southall has to shoot at. Ryan Southall has a perfect box percentage of 54. He has 10,131 seasonal total pins in the regular season of the ACST. He finished second place in A-Class Division 3 ahead of JT Lainez and Bob Allard, trailing Troy Fournier. He finished 6th in the ACST A-Class overall, with the 2nd seed in the wild card was where he started out his playoff journey. Southall for an 8, 9, or 10. He'll take an 8. That will put him at 97 and 9 for Mr. Ryan Southall. I'm Steve Kelly with Ryan Southall and Jon Winchell. It's great to have you along wherever you are, however you are watching, whether it be live, whether it be 18 years from now. I appreciate you watching anyway. You are supporting Candlepin bowling and the interest in the sport, keeping the game alive and keeping the competitive spirit active. That's a 4 drop, an awkward 4 drop for Ryan Southall. That's the 2, the 4, the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 10. Awkward shot, 3-6 pocket is the imperative pocket to hit for this, and Southall misses that pocket. He washes out the left side and leaves the right side on the seashore. The 3-6-10 is what he's shooting at. No wood for a 10 box. For the 10 box to finish the third game, he'll take a 9 box for 106. I believe I will verify that in a little bit. We'll verify that in a little bit, actually, just because people are walking around a bit. But it should be 106 for Ryan Southall. I just want to be totally, totally certain before I say confirmed. Anyways, let's say hi to Jon Winchell once again. Was that 106? Sure. That was a 106 game for Southall. Jon Winchell now. Thanks.
You're all done with it.
It's a left side cleary for Winchell. No fill. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Winchell will take this Cleary spare. Excuse me, sorry, I was taking a swig of water. 69 after 6 for Jon Winchell. Getting spares while I'm getting water. That's what we like to see in the ACST, making the announcer choke. It's better the announcer chokes than the bowler chokes. Jon Winchell almost with a repeat. That's a 6 fill. Almost another Cleary, but he'll take a spare 6. Spare 7, actually. Late falling pin. So that puts him at 76 after 6. Correction there. The 106 by Southall is confirmed. I checked with JJ. Winchell for the 2-4-7 spare, and he'll do it again. Like Steely Dan, 86 and a ball for Jon Winchell in the 7th. Jon Winchell firmly in control so far, 2.5 games in. He was ahead by 7 last game. He's maintaining that pace now. Winchell filling a spare. 4th spare of the game. Off to the right of the head pin. That's a 4-fill, an awkward 4-fill. We've seen a lot of 4-fills tonight, believe it or not. So that's the 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. In no particular order. That's just me visually eyeballing the pins down there. Winchell for the spare. 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. For another spare, can he do it? He's punching a little bit too full on the head pin. So it's going to be 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. 5 box or better is what Jon Winchell's shooting at. This is a salvage mission now. Mark Street comes to a screeching halt. Jon Winchell for the 10 box. It's going to be a 6. That's going to put him at 96 and 8. For Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell frustrated on that one. 2 boxes to go, but he just needs 11 to outpace Ryan Southall in the 3rd, and he was already up by 7 coming into this, so Jon Winchell does have some wiggle room here in this playoff match at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. I'm Steve Kelly. Great to have you along. Appreciate you watching. In Jon Winchell's past 5 regular season matches, he took 40 points, and that was +2 from the previous 5, so that's an improvement. Jon Winchell on the 1-3 pocket, dropping 8, 7-10 is what he's left with in the past 5 regular season, and that was... No, excuse me. In the past 5 regular season home matches, Jon Winchell took 40 points. That's the same stat as his past 5 regular season matches. In terms of the past 5 away matches, he took 38 points, just 2 off. And Jon Winchell will miss the spare on the 7-10. He plays the wood doesn't play back. I don't think that analogy really works. Jon Winchell's longest streak of matches totaling over 550 was 11 this season. It's impressive. And his longest streak of games over 100 was 12, Game 3 of Round 15 through Game 4 of Week 17. That's a 9-box for Jon Winchell. 105 in 9, I believe it should be. Jon Winchell's peak season average was 124 starting out in Week 1 of the regular season. 13 of his 18 matches resulted in a double-digit point take-home for Jon Winchell. Out of his past 5 matches, he's gotten 77 spares, which is an improvement of 23 from the previous 5. Jon Winchell drops 6, an awkward 6. That's the 2, 4, 6, 7. Per home match, Jon Winchell achieves 9.44 points. Per away match, Jon Winchell achieves 9.78 points. Past tense, that is, in the regular season. Jon Winchell trying to get a pretty spare. He plays it correctly, but the 6-pin doesn't want to cooperate, so Jon Winchell is looking at a potential 115 game if he can take this single pin 10 on the 6. Jon Winchell taking a quick breather, and now he winds up. He pitches for the 10 box. He'll take a 10. That's 115. A loud clap. 115 for Jon Winchell, still over Ryan Southall by 16 in the match. He's just going up and up and up, but he's plus 16 at this point in the match. Jon Winchell batting 1,000 so far in terms of the total and staying above Ryan Southall. Jon Winchell defending the house. We're going to move on to the 4th game. Can you believe it? We're already on the 4th game. Ryan Southall returns to the approaches of Lane 3 at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Shooter's Pub. Ryan Southall to the left of the head pin. Pin still falling. 6 drop, 7 drop, 8 drop. 1-8 is what he's looking at. Southall shooting for a spare. On the 1-8. He says no as he releases. He released a little bit too awkwardly for his liking. So he's shooting at the head pin for a 10 box. He'll take a 10 box. He'll check 10. Southall all over it in the third for 10 after 1. And I'm still batting 1,000 on the scores, by the way. That's a 5-drop for Ryan Southall. Still got it. Southall with the right side hay bale for the spare. Takes out everything but the 5. Pin hangs out in the gutter. It's still down, don't worry. He's just shooting at the 5 for a 10. Last time Ryan Southall faced Jon Winchell in round 8 at Exeter Lanes, he only took 2 points with a 5:03 series. Ouch. That's a 9 for Ryan Southall, 19 after 2. In that match against Jon Winchell during the regular season, Ryan Southall had 2 strikes, 6 spares, and 13 tens. In his second and fourth games, he threw an 88 and an 89. All his other games were less than 118, unfortunately. He had a rough time here at Exeter Lanes, and so far he seems to be having similar troubles. Although he hasn't dipped as low as 88 and 89, at least, thank goodness. That's a left side half Worcester for Ryan Southall. He connects with the invisible 1-2 top pocket for the spare conversion opportunity, and the pins do fly around, but he's left with a 5-6-3 for a 10 box for Ryan Southall. He fires for a salvage mission. He'll take an 8 box. Ryan Southall markless in the fourth, 27 after 3 here at Exeter Lanes. Ryan Southall is the Nico Singles winner of 2022. That's Nico standing for New England Knockout. 6 drops, 7 drop, maybe an 8 drop. Left side half Worcester minus the 4. 1-2-7 is what Ryan Southall has to shoot at for a spare here. Wiggling 2 pin. Pins in between the 2 and the 7. He'll spare that up. Ryan Southall with an angry spare. 37 plus a ball after 4 for Mr. Ryan Southall. In Candlepin Skins Season 1, Episode 4 on Candlepin Corner, Ryan Southall beat Timmy Douglas by 2 pins, 227 to 225, to move on to a second appearance in Skins. He had a come-from-behind victory after he made an adjustment, and I had the honor of bowling next to Ryan Southall on Candlepin Skins. Check out that episode, by the way, on Candlepin Corner. It was a great match to bowl, great match to watch. And Jordan Britton and co. will tell you all about it, and that's a spare for Ryan Southall with a 6 fill on the first spare, and a second spare to follow up. 53 is where he finishes, plus a ball. Ryan Southall really salvaging that half and what was potentially disastrous. This might be one of his best halves so far, as it's 53 plus a ball for Ryan Southall. Say hello to Jon Winchell once more. And at some point in this broadcast, I really should show you the slides I made for these 2 bowlers if we have enough of a break in the action. And so far, it's been breakneck pace action. I'll show you some additional stats and visuals when we have a spare moment here. Anyways, that's Jon Winchell in the black shirt on the right side in lane 3. He connects with the 1-2 pocket. Pins fall, 8 fall, 2 stay up. 5 and 3 is what Jon Winchell is shooting at for a spare leave. Or 3-5, I guess, if you want to order lowest to highest. Jon Winchell. The Heartbreak Kid preparing his heartbreak shot. And it's a heartbreaker. He hits only the 5, leaves the 3. The last time Jon Winchell faced Ryan Southall in round 8 at Exeter Lanes, just again from the opposite perspective, he took 12 points with a 5.66 series with 3 strikes, 12 spares, and 15 tens, his 3rd lowest series of the season. That's a 10 box for Jon Winchell to open up the 4th game here, 10 after 1. Both bowlers 10 after 1 in the 4th. Jon Winchell on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes, Shooter's Pub in Exeter, New Hampshire. He fires, drops 7, a little bit awkward shot on the head pin, but he's left with a 3-6-7. Spare leave. See the wood along the 3 and the 6 there? That's going to be the operative shot. I have no doubt that Jon Winchell can make this. You need to hit that piece of wood, probably redline it, maybe hit it a little high to pinball to take the 7. And he'll cap that wood, unfortunately. Hits it a little bit too much on the opposite side. So he's left with the 7 pin for a 9 or a 10 box for Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell for the 9 of the 10. And he'll take a 10 box. Or a 9 box, excuse me. Getting my 9s and 10s jumbled up here. That's 19 after 2 for Jon Winchell. See some slides about Jon Winchell here. So, well, before he bowls, he's, again, first division leader. He finished the regular season 173.79. That 64% perfect box percentage is a standout, though. Again, with the 248 spare count and the 251 10 count, Jon Winchell is the king of the mountain in many regards. That's the right side Cleary after 1 ball for Jon Winchell. 4 horseman right side in the 8. 1, 2, 6, 10, 8. We call that the Cleary. I don't know why we call that the Cleary, but I've learned it's called the Cleary. Someone explain to me in the comments why it's called the Cleary. Jon Winchell trying to break the Cleary. He's left with the 8 and the 10. Jon Winchell versus the 8 and the 10 for a 10 box. There's some wood along the 8. I think that's the operative wood. You should play that. Picking a stick, though, instead. He'll take a 9 box, leaving the 10 pin. 28 after 3 for Jon Winchell. Cooling off here a little bit. 28 after 3 for Jon Winchell. He's been up across 3 games so far. Again, here's more stats for Jon Winchell. In case you missed it before, that 640 seasonal high 5 is pretty crazy, don't you think? Jon Winchell on lane 3. A little bit too full on the head pin. Drops 7. Pins might still be falling, though. 4 pin falls late. 2-6 is what he's left with for a spare leave for Jon Winchell. 2-6. Got to kick the 2 over to the 6. It's a pretty shot when it goes. The left side of the 2 is what Jon Winchell has to shoot at. He knows it. I know it. And he does that. It's like I'm a mind reader or something. That's a spare by Jon Winchell for 38 plus a ball after 4. Jon Winchell in the regular season in round 18, he faced Nate Lees at Exeter Lanes. Nate Lees, who was just eliminated from the playoffs. Jon Winchell took 2 points against Nate Lees in that round, the not playoff round, the regular season round, with a 581 series with 5 strikes, 12 spares, and 15 tens. That's Jon Winchell with a 9 drop, leaving the 8 pin in the back row with a piece of wood rolling up to it to hang out. Jon Winchell's overall average tends to be 127, according to Candlepin Skins on Candlepin Corner. His nickname, the Heartbreak Kid, they claim they coined it in season 1, episode 2. That was a 9 fill for Winchell and another spare for Winchell, 57 plus a ball for Jon Winchell at the half. Both bowlers on marks and on fills. Ryan Southall 53 and a ball. Jon Winchell 57 and a ball. Winchell, though, plus 20, though, overall. In terms of the total. It's not about points, it's about the total tonight. Ryan Southall for the fill, he'll drop 5. It's a 5 fill, 58 after 5 for Ryan Southall, looks like. Again, all scores are unofficial until I yell over to JJ to confirm. So far, I've been pretty much in sync, but if in the off chance I get out of sync, we'll verify everything at the end. So far, we're doing pretty good. Southall punches 1 more out. He's shooting for a 10 box. Ouch. That's going to be a 6 box for Ryan Southall. He remarks, "Are you serious?" And I can't disagree with that one. He's at 64 after 6, and that may have just opened a door for Jon Winchell sometime in the future here. We'll find out. Oh, my goodness. That's Ryan Southall down there. I'm Steve Kelly back here. That's Ryan Southall in lane 2, dropping 7, dropping 8. 9 pin deciding if it wants to go 2, but the 9 and the 10 stay. Hits the wood in front of the 9 pin. Ryan Southall knows what he has to do. Play the wood in front of the 9 pin. Ryan Southall recently faced Troy Fournier in round 18 at Riverwalk. He plays that 9 pin, and the 9 and the 10 pin is unaffected. Southall took 12 points against Fournier in round 18 with a 603 series, New Hampshire. We'll take a 9 box. 73 after 7. For Mr. Southall. Some stats for Southall, in case you missed them before. 10,131 seasonal total pins for Southall. Southall, that's a hammer of a strike. Southall coming alive here towards the end with that strike. 83 plus a fill and 8 for Southall. And that is Southall's 2nd strike of the night, matching Winchell's 2 strikes. They're almost even in marks. Southall has 1 spare less than Winchell. He opens up with a 6 drop on that strike fill. The 1, the 3, the 6, and the 9 is what Southall's shooting at. This next ball will conclude the fill. Will get a spare on strike? He will not. He'll take 8. He dropped that ball early. I saw that. I had the opportunity to see where the ball got dropped. It was before the foul line. When you drop a ball before the foul line, that's where things can go wrong. That's a 9 box for Southall. That puts them at 100 in 9. And to conclude my thought from earlier against Troy Fournier in round 18 at Riverwalk, he had Southall had 4 strikes, 14 spares, and 9 tens. His first game was an 89, and all their games were greater than 112. Southall fires. First ball of the 10th frame. He drops 5, right side Cleary. The 8, the 10, the 1, the 3, and the 6 are what Southall's shooting at. No wood for a spare leave. Southall for the spare. He needs the spare, and the Cleary wins. The 8 pin isn't carried over. So Southall is looking at a 110 game here, maximum. 109 if he misses. He'll miss for a 9 box, 109 for Southall. I'll confirm that in just a moment.
Is that 109? Yes. Okay.
Confirmed, 109 for Southall. Hey, still got it. So Jon Winchell is sitting at 57 plus a ball after 5, as we see. Hearing a very weird noise. Sounds like a hum or something. I don't know what that was. It just faded away. I hope that wasn't a pin setter or anything. It seems a lot of matches I stream, we have weird pin setter noises out back, and this is like my third of the past 3 matches where that's happened across 3 different houses. Lita, Boutwell's, and now here. Candlepin Bowling and Candlepin Mechanicals. That's Jon Winchell dropping 5 left side hay bale, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 for Mr. Winchell. Jon Winchell's all-time high single is 190. All-time high 3 is 467. His all-time high 5 is 744. WCBC ROI 1996, 1997. That's how long that Winchell's been around for, and so he'll fill that spare with 5, and he'll take another spare. And that should put Winchell at 72 after 6, I believe. 3rd mark in a row, 3rd spare in a row here in the center of the 4th game. 4, 5, and 6 boxes were all spares for Jon Winchell. 672 plus a ball in the 6. Compare that to Ryan Southall, 64 after 6. This is becoming a bit of a beatdown at this point for Jon Winchell against Ryan Southall. Jon Winchell really pulling ahead. He was already ahead in the 1st, but he just continues to pull ahead. No mercy here at Exeter Lanes. That's a 7 fill for Jon Winchell. The 1, the 2, and the 10 pins are what he's shooting at. Wood still settling, 1, 2, 10. And I think that might be a possible spare leave. Let's see what Jon Winchell can do here. Playoff bowling, playoff Candlepin bowling here at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire, along the seacoast adjacent. Winchell plays the pocket a little bit too full, so the spare plane lands. Unfortunately, the flight is over. He's left with just the 10 pin for a 10 box for Jon Winchell. To conclude the 7th box, 3rd ball. He winds up, he pitches. He'll take that 10 box out. Did I have any doubt with that perfect box percentage of 64? No, I did not. Jon Winchell is currently at 89 after 7 with 3 to go here in Game 4 or 5 of the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, the semifinal match between Ryan Southall and Jon Winchell. Winchell fires on lane 2. Off to the left of the head pin. He washes things out. 1, 5, 3, 6, 10 is what he's shooting at. 1, 5, 3, 6, 10 for Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell, winner of the Pro Series 10 stringer in 2010 on October 17th, and that's Jon Winchell with a spare. The washout spare for the Heartbreak Kid. 99 plus a ball after 8. Jon Winchell on fire. 4 spares this game, so far. 11 spares in the match. Again, he just has a mile-long list of accolades. I've just written down so many. After a while, it just becomes a blur, like Pro Series doubles knockout in 2016, Pro Series doubles elimination in 2016, New Hampshire State 2016-2017 singles scratch, singles handicap and doubles scratch, and that is a 6 fill, I believe, the right side diamond for Winchell. 105 and 8. 5, 6, 3, 9. No wood, diamond. Winchell made the left side diamond earlier tonight. Let's see if he can complete the right side diamonds. And he almost does. The diamond wins again. The back row stays. The 9 pin is the one that ruins the spare leave. More like a spare stay, am I right? Jon Winchell versus the 9-pin for a 10 box. And he fires, and he's off to the left. That's a 9 box for Winchell. 114 after 9 for Jon Winchell. Appreciate you watching. I'm Steve Kelly, and for Jon Winchell and Ryan Southall, it's great to have you along. Just about to finish the 4th game. We still have 1 game to go here in Exeter Lanes, Exeter, New Hampshire, to decide who goes to the championship of the A North class. Winchell thinking long and hard about what he's going to do next. And he misses the head pin. It's a Cleary plus 10. Cleary plus a 10 pin. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10 for Jon Winchell. Train comes to a screeching halt here on lane 2. The 1-2 pocket is the operative pocket. It'll be pretty if it goes. He could also try for the 1 and not 3 pocket, the invisible 1-3 pocket. See how what Jon Winchell can do. Piece of wood in between the 1, 2, 4, and 9. He plays the pocket, but a little bit light. He's a little bit too nice to it. Ryan Southall remarks, "Are you kidding me?" But I kind of understand why that didn't go. 7-10 with 2 pieces of wood still rolling and settling for Jon Winchell. Still settling. Winchell thinking long and hard about it as Billy Joel comes on the radio here at Exeter Lanes. Winchell plays the wood. A little bit too much of a spread. He'll take a 9 box. He'll finish with a 123. For Jon Winchell, 4-game total of 456 versus Ryan Southall's 426. That's plus 30 for Winchell. Concluding the 4th with 1 to go. Ryan Southall's going to need a blockbuster 5th game.
Is that 109 to 123? Yes.
And that is confirmed. Still batting 1,000 on the scores. Always makes me happy for funny reasons. Ryan Southall dropping 7. The 278 is what he's shooting at. Southall with good first balls, but has some trouble following them up a little bit. He'll take out the 8 and only the 8. That's the story for the first box of the 5th and final game for Ryan Southall. In the 5th episode of the first season of Candlepin Skins, Southall finished in first place with a 258 after 2 games. That's an 8 box for Southall to start out this first box, or to finish the first box of the 5th game, 5th and final game of this 5-game series. Southall's been chasing Winchell this whole night, and he's down by 30 as of the 4th game. Again, it's not about points, it's about the final scratch total. Final scratch grand total is what we are discussing tonight at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Southall versus the Broken Eagle. He breaks the Eagle down a little bit more. That's the 3, 6, 4, 10 for Southall. For the 10 box, and he'll take a 9. He'll do a decent job cleaning it up for a 9 box. 17 after 2 for Southall. In Season 1, Episode 6 of Candlepin Skins on Candlepin Corner, Ryan Southall finished in first place with a 265. It was a runaway win by 37 pins. He took home $345 for the day. And we'll be hot on our heels to find out what Ryan Southall does in the next episode of Candlepin Skins. He drops 6 here. 2, 4, 7, 10. Misses the 2, 4 pocket. Left with the 2 and the 10. Mr. Ryan Southall. Shooting at the 2 and the 10, Southall is. And he'll miss the 2 and the 10 for an 8 box. 25 after 3 for Southall. Southall getting a little bit frustrated. J.J. Chirigny trying to really get him going and get him reinvigorated here, as I just watched a kid throw a ball in between lanes 6 and 7, and the gap between lanes 6 and 7. That was kind of funny to see. Ryan Southall washing out the left side. 1, 5, 3, 6, 9, 10 is what he's shooting at. It's a left side washout. Fun facts about Candlepin bowling. Bob Lee says the washout is a 10-pin term, and it's when it's like a left or right side leave, not a split, but the head pin is left, if I remember that correctly. Southall tries to convert that to a spare, but he leaves the 9-pin on the deck. Shooting for a 9 or a 10, Ryan Southall will take a 10. 35 after 4 for Ryan Southall. No marks in the 5th after 4 boxes. Southall was down by 30 coming into this game, and he really needs to have an incredible last 6 boxes here for any hope of going to the championship in the ACST A North playoffs. Ryan Southall 4 horsemen right side in the 7 pin. 1, 3, 6, 7, 10 is what Ryan Southall's shooting at for a spare. And he'll try to play it, and he'll leave everything but the 10 pin. Spare leave doesn't go. Ryan Southall 9 or 10 box. Just needs to pin it out. He's missed the spare opportunity. Wood around the 10 pin, and he'll play the wood. He'll take a 10 box. That's 45 after 5 for Ryan Southall. Disappointing 45 half. 4.5 game total. 471 for Ryan Southall. That puts him at plus 15 against Jon Winchell with 5 boxes of a head start. But Jon Winchell, who got really hot in the 4th game, particularly with that 123. We're going to see how he puts it away now, as Ryan Southall remarks. But you never know. You never know. As I remember in my playoff match, I thought I had it in the bag until I threw an 80. So, you know what? Nothing is set in stone until it actually happens. Jon Winchell on lane 3 at Exeter Lanes. And see ya. That's a strike by Jonathan Winchell. Heartbreak Kids starting the heartbreaks. 10 plus a fill after 1 for Jon Winchell with that strike. Jon Winchell. Filling a strike. He's from Brentwood, New Hampshire. His home house is here at Exeter Lanes. For this double strike, that's a double strike for Jon Winchell. And now he's just showing off. That's 30 after 2, and the fills are still happening here for Jon Winchell. So double strike. Bear with me as I try to keep up on the fills for the strikes. I can get a little bit confusing as I start compounding, so bear with me. This next ball will be the final additional pins on the first box. Unless he gets a triple, then it gets interesting. For the triple strike, he almost gets a triple strike. He drops 9. He leaves all but the 6 pin. Oh my goodness. Jon Winchell, nearly a triple strike, almost on camera. For the single pin spare on strike. For Jon Winchell. Should be a layup single pin spare on the 6 pin, and he fires, and of course he's got it. He's all over it. 3 marks in a row. Strike, strike, spare. 59 plus a ball for Jon Winchell. At this point, Jon Winchell is positioning himself very well to go on to the championships to face Joey Lister in the A North playoffs for the finals. 59 plus a ball for Jon Winchell now. He fires on lane 3 on the pocket again, the 1-3 pocket. He drops 6. And Ryan Southall is just cheering him on now. He's shooting at the 4-5-3-10. Jon Winchell is. Jon Winchell versus the 4-5-3-10 or 3-4-5-10, whatever you want to order it as, and he takes it. Jon Winchell, perfect on marks. He wants to go out with a bang, win or lose. 75 plus a ball for Jon Winchell in the 4th. Let's see if he can get to 100 in the 5th. No one has ever done that on my streams, at least. Let's see what Jon Winchell can do. Jon Winchell has been in the New Hampshire State 2018 and 2019 men's teams. I believe that was a 2 winning rooms. See ya. Almost a strike. Drops off with the 6 again. 9 fill. He is on it, dialed in, all over it, versus the 6 pin for Jon Winchell. Same leave, almost the same wood even. Jon Winchell is focusing. Jon Winchell. He fires. He gets it again. He finishes with a perfect mark half of 94 plus a ball for Jon Winchell. I think that's going to basically be 100-something after 5, unless something goes horribly wrong on the fill. Jon Winchell, look at that 94 half. 94 half. 45 half for Ryan Southall. Ryan Southall needs marks. And look at that mark by Ryan Southall. He won't take this laying down. That's a strike by Ryan Southall. He's mad. And he's not going to take that lying down. That's a strike for Ryan Southall. 55 plus a fill after 6 for Ryan Southall. Appreciate you watching this Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour Class A playoffs. I'm Steve Kelly. Up back here, that's Ryan Southall down there. Ryan Southall wants a piece of those marks that Jon Winchell just threw 5 of, and Ryan Southall will take a few down for the first ball of the strike fill. No strike, but he could get a spare. 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 10 is what Ryan Southall's shooting at with no wood, and he'll sail through the hole. That's a 4-fill. 4-fill on the strike, 59 and 6. Oh, Ryan, I was rooting for you on that one. I was getting excited all the same. For the 10 box, he'll take 8. 67 and 7 for Ryan Southall. Oh, my goodness, look at this score. And at this point, Ryan Southall just has a personal goal of getting 540, as he just stated. Jon Winchell with 550 at 4.5 games, plus a ball even. Ryan Southall drops 5. 1, 2, 7, 9, 10. 1, 2, 7, 9, 10 for Ryan Southall. The spare leave. 1-2 pocket in some way, and he misses the 1-2 pocket a little bit off to the left, leaving the high-low jack 1-7-10 with a piece of wood perpendicular to the 10. Shooting for a 10 box. He'll shoot. He'll take out just the 9 for an 8 box. Excuse me, he'll take out just the 1 pin for an 8 box. Excuse me, 75 in 8 for Ryan Southall. And at this point, I won't say it's over till it's over, but I think Jon Winchell will be going to the finals at this point, unless this is all strikes from here on out for Ryan Southall. But he tries. He drops 9, leaving the 9 pin. Some wood in front of the 9. We'll see if he can get a spare for Southall. And believe it or not, the pins all dance around the 9 pin. Or the deadwood dances around the 9 pin. No spare for Southall. And again, he plays the wood, and somehow the 9 pin survives in the 9th. 84 after 9 for Southall. And this is a situation where Jon Winchell has bowled 5 boxes and is still ahead of Ryan Southall, despite being 4.5 boxes behind. Southall on lane 2 at this point. Congratulations, Jon Winchell, already. Southall is trying his hardest. He's on the head pin, but he's just getting these leaves and these breaks that just won't go for him. 3, 9, 10 for Southall. He's trying to go for a spare here. He misses it. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Southall is going to go sub 100 in this 5th game. My goodness. Ryan Southall, 7, 8, 9, or 10. He'll take an 8 box for 92 and 10. 92 and 10 for Ryan Southall. That is nearly... Jon Winchell nearly has that score at the half. 94 plus a ball. He has more than that at the half. Jon Winchell just boomed Ryan Southall in the 5th. He absolutely boomed him. Ryan Southall says you could just go home and you've won. And yeah, I don't disagree. So yeah, statistically, Jon Winchell, congratulations. You are going to the finals of the ACST North playoffs in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour for 2023-2024 season. Ryan Southall filling the spare. He drops 9. I thought the 10 pin was about to fall somehow. 103 and 5 for Jon Winchell with the 10 box to shoot out for another spare. Let's see if Jon Winchell can do it. It's always tough to come back to a second half. Let's see if Jon Winchell could do it. He's guttered it. That's a 9 box. JJ screams bowler's call, and nope, that was most definitely a 9 box. And what the heck is that noise? Sounds like feedback or something. Just heard a really weird noise. I don't know what that was, but hey, we're at Exeter Bowling Lanes with 12 lanes. It's the Shooters Sports Pub as well. Paper scoring, established in 1946. Check out the picture in the background. That picture is from way long ago, before any of us were born, pretty much. Back when you bowled in full business attire. And anyways, that's appears to be a 2 fill for... No, it's not even a fill. Never mind. It would have been a fill if he didn't foul it. 112 and 6 for Jon Winchell to catch you up on the scores. Jon Winchell on the half Worcester right side trying to reconcile for a spare conversion. He doesn't. He's left with the 7, 8, 10, 6 for Jon Winchell. Pin still rolling. Pin still settling. Still figuring out where he wants to go. I would play the wood in front of the 8 pin for Jon Winchell. And he doesn't. He just tries to pick some pins out. He'll take an 8 box. He's just going for records at this point. That should be 120 in 7 for Jon Winchell. 3 boxes to go. I think we definitely could be seeing a 50 game here. A 150, that is, for Mr. Jon Winchell. Definitely a 150, maybe more. We'll see. Find out. Stay tuned. That's Jon Winchell down there. I'm Steve Kelly back here at the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class A North semifinals. And he's a little bit too full on the head pin. He leaves the 3, 6, 10. Jon Winchell for the spare. See what Jon Winchell can do versus the 3, 6, 10. 3, 6 Mafia plus a 10 for Jon Winchell. He fires. He looks like he's going to miss the 3, but the pin comes back and takes it. 130 plus a ball and 8 for Jon Winchell. He got lucky on that one. He missed the operative 3-6 pocket, but the 6-10 pocket kicked a piece of wood back on the 3, and it leaves him with 130 and 8. Ryan Southall just beside himself. But at this point, when you see a bowler doing good in Candlepin, you just root for him regardless if you're bowling for him, against him. It doesn't matter. If they're bowling an incredible game, you just clap because it doesn't happen often, and you want to just support them in any way possible because it's amazing to watch. Jon Winchell filling the spare with 7. He missed the head pin. 7 on the spare. That's 137 and 8. 137 is the pocket, or 1-3 pocket for the spare shot. 137 specifically. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited here myself. Thanks for watching, by the way. Appreciate this. A couple of thanks before we go. As always, we'd like to thank our league ACST League Commissioner Danny Finn. That's another spare for Jon Winchell. Was I expecting anything else? Of course not. 147 plus a ball in 9. Thanks to Danny Finn, our ACST League Commissioner. ACST stats and numbers crunched by Micah Imparato, Brian Hebert for statistical graphics using this broadcast. The staff at Exeter Lanes, they were awesome tonight. Thank you for watching. I've been Steve Kelly, and it's been amazing streaming this match for you. And we're just finishing off the 5th and final game. We'll tally up everything in the end, but Jon Winchell, far and away, is going to the playoffs, going to the final round of the playoffs, and he drops 8, filling that spare with 8. He is at 155 and 9. He takes a spare. We could be looking at 165 plus for Jon Winchell. Jon Winchell versus the 1 and the 8. This is the final mark of the match. 7 marks this game for Jon Winchell, and he's right on it. That's a spare for Jon Winchell. Look at that, 165 plus a ball for Jon Winchell, finishing this match strong by far. 621 plus a ball for Jon Winchell against Ryan Southall's 518. He's up by 103 in the total, and he's not done yet. Plus 103 by Jon Winchell, absolutely booming Ryan Southall in this match. Jon Winchell, final one, goodbye. Everything but the 10-pin falls. 174 for Jon Winchell. That is it, yo. His all-time high 1 is 190 for what it's worth, and his season ACST high single is 156. And that is it. That is the end of the match. And yeah, so to finish off everything and to size everything up, Ryan Southall and Ryan Southall waves goodbye. 5:15 to 6:30. Jon Winchell advances to the finals, and that is it from us here at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Let me just pull up the final graphic for the playoff picture. Ryan Southall's been eliminated. It's going to be Jon Winchell versus Joey Lister. Joey Lister through 6:37. Jon Winchell tonight with a 6:30, and they will be squaring off in the next round of the Class A North playoffs. And that will be the end of it from us at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. Be sure to strike, comment, and subscribe to the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour page on Facebook, Candlepin Bowling Network for stuff like the Friday Night Pro League, and Candlepin Skins on Candlepin Corner. Subscribe to all of it, please. Strike, comment, and subscribe, and share with all your friends and family. And also, if you want to bowl, if you think you can bowl better than Jon Winchell, this energized the crap out of you, go to candlepin.org and click Go Bowling to find your nearest center. Every center, it doesn't matter where you end up. If you end up at a Candlepin center, they're going to appreciate your business and appreciate your interest in Candlepin bowling. All right, everyone. I've been Steve Kelly from everyone here at Exeter Lanes for Jon Winchell and Ryan Southall. Have an excellent whatever it is. Have a great one, everybody.